Ryan Day's definitely got a Michigan issue. This is Kirby's best coaching job. Hopefully he didn't watch the game. That's an insane performance from him. Welcome back, guys, to the Luke Lytle College Sports Show. Week 10 recap here. We're also going to talk about some updated coaching carousel. We'll go over the new AP poll, and we'll talk a little playoff outlook. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is when the first college football playoff rankings drop. So be on the lookout for that. We're definitely going to we'll go over that in our week 11 preview. I guess I want to talk about some of the games that we didn't include in the heavy hitters or underdogs, because I think it's time to finally just chat about Ohio State here. So let's talk over the Penn State game here, and we'll just bring up the box score here. Julian saying 20 of 23, 316 in the air, and 4 touchdowns. I guess Bo Jackson found the fountain of youth. He plays for Ohio State now. He's a running back. 13 carries for 105 yards. As a team, they had 164 yards. And then, of course, you just got the dynamic duo there of Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. Carnell Tate, 5 for 124 and a touchdown. Jeremiah Smith, 6 for 123. And he had 2 touchdowns. One of them, that's when I turned the game off, is when he caught that tipped ball on the goal line one-handed and just walked into the end zone. That's when I turned the game off, because it's unbelievable. It really is. And just the whole team, how they're playing, it's like it. I get Indiana. I think Indiana should be talked about. They're having a great year, but it just feels like Ohio State's just. I think there's a gap. I really do. I think when they do end up playing in the Big Ten championship, I think Ohio State wins that game convincingly. Because I don't know what you're supposed to do against them. I mean, Julian saying that this is his first year starting, okay, and there's just no weakness right now. You don't see weakness. I had his stats just pulled up here. Let me get him back here. And I know we said that he was in our honorable mention for our position rankings, and I don't know if we included him in our Heisman voting or not, but we look dumb. Say that we look dumb. He's just carving it up every week. He's insane. He is insane. This team is. I think they're a lot better than what they were last year, and I understand people who want to say, they haven't played any competition. I get it, and you are more than welcome to make that argument. I'm not going to argue with it for making that argument. But at the same time, you just need to sit down and watch their games, and I think you'll finally realize that nobody's even coming close to them. It's unfair. Defensive wise, Arvell Reese, we talked about him in our position rankings. He's insane. He's really fun to watch. He just flies around the field. He had 12 total tackles there, 2.5 for a loss. Ended up getting a sack too. Downs got a pick in the end zone. It's a pretty easy pick to get, to be honest there. I don't even think we should talk about Penn State. There's really nothing to talk about Penn State. I'm not going to trash them. They just need to get a new coach, Get a new coach, get the roster figured out, and then we'll chat about Penn State. But Ohio State, they're just on another level. They really are. We'll see what they do against Michigan. Ryan Day's definitely got a Michigan issue, but I think they walk into the playoffs number 1 team. I think they'll be undefeated, and they're looking like they're going to be going back to back here. So good for them. Good for them. Uh, let's see what other games we got to cover. Indiana, Maryland. Indiana killed them 55-10. They moved to 9-0, 6-0 in the Big Ten. There, Ole Miss took care of business against South Carolina. Good one for them. SMU took down Miami in overtime. It's looking like the end for Miami after that. I don't see them recovering from that because you got some other ACC schools that are starting to show up here, and Miami they're getting worse. They're getting worse as the year goes on. Notre Dame went over Boston College. Texas Tech went over Kansas State. Virginia beat Cal 31-21. Louisville beat Virginia Tech 28-16. Michigan beat Purdue 21-16. Let's see here. And then Houston lost to West Virginia there. Upset there 45-35. That probably crosses out Houston also. Definitely does. Let's see. We'll do underdogs. Is there anything I want to say before we start? Oh, Friday, Memphis beat Rice there, 38-14. I think that Memphis is looking like they're going to be the team to be in the playoffs there from the group of 5 schools. So yeah, we'll do underdogs here. We'll start out. Let's just do USC Nebraska. Get it out of the way here. USC won this game. If you want to make the argument, oh, Raiola got hurt, it's fine. You can make that argument. He is out for the year, broken fibula. So hopefully, he heals from that, comes back stronger next year. And you can say what you want about this one for USC, that it was ugly, because it was ugly. Maava, who he was 5th in our quarterback rankings, he let us down here. He went 9 of 23, 135 yards, and threw a pick. But King Miller, the running back there, 18 carries, 129 yards, and a touchdown there. USC, they pulled this one out, and like I said, it's an ugly win, but it's a win, and you're 6-2, 4-1 in the Big Ten now, and you control your destiny. You really do here. They've got Iowa and Oregon later in the year here. They definitely control the road there to getting into the playoffs there. Let's look at the team stats. Yeah, it's a pretty ugly box score here. I mean, USC, they had 8 penalties and they still won the game. Well, that's what good teams do. They find a way to win. So good on their end. We called USC winning that game, I'm pretty sure. So there's one win for us. We're not getting a win on this one because NC State took down Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is no longer undefeated. Let's get this box score pulled up. This was a very fun game to watch. Very fun game. I'm struggling to find it. Where is it? Oh, that's because it went to week 11. That would explain it. Here we go. Haynes King threw for 408 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're not going to count that pick because that's the end of the game pick there. We won't count that against him. Haynes King also in the rushing department there, 20 carries, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I'm surprised Haynes King didn't catch the ball. He does everything for them. I don't know what else. What more can he do? I mean, threw 408, ran for 103, had 4 touchdowns. I mean, Georgia Tech, you might as well just put him at Mike linebacker Because dadgum, I mean, his team did not help him at all. The defense, what happened here? That's crazy. Because NC State, I mean, give them credit 100% here. They played a really good game. Really good game. Georgia Tech didn't go out and lose this game. NC State won it. CJ Bailey, 340 through the air, 2 touchdowns, 24-32. Hollywood Smothers, the running back for NC State that we talked about, we had him in our position rankings. He didn't even play. Didn't even play. They were missing probably their best player. But the backup, Jaden Scott, 24 carries, 196 yards. The backup did that. That's unbelievable. As a team, they had 243 rushing yards. They had 4 different guys get a rushing touchdown there. CJ Bailey, Will Wilson, which I'm pretty sure they had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So we'll say we'll go three rushing touchdowns. And then Cody Hardy, tight end, he got a rushing touchdown there as well. That's a very, very good team win for NC State. I believe they've beaten another. Who else did they beat in the ACC? They were the ones who beat Virginia. Man, NC State, they're biting kneecaps, man. Let's move on to, well, before we move on, hold on. Let's chat about Georgia Tech here. Do a little outlook. We're jumping the gun. They still got Boston College, Pitt. That's really good that they have Pitt at home. And then they got Georgia. Well, actually, we're going to save this. We're going to save this for when we do some playoff talk. We're going to save this. So, yeah, let's move on to UGA and Florida here. I don't know why I said UGA. Call them Georgia. Box score here. Okay. Georgia, they survived here 24-20. I think this is a good win for Georgia. I mean, I know Florida doesn't have, an attractive record here. I mean, yes, but I'm pretty sure that spread was still 7. I think it was 7 straight up or 7.5. I can't remember. I think this is a good one for Georgia. I think this is Kirby's best coaching job because Georgia does not even have near the talent that they used to have, especially on defense. But you got to give it to Gunnar Stockton. I mean, he's playing really good football this year. 20-29, 223, 2 touchdowns and a pick. I think if you're Georgia, I mean, you're happy that Beck didn't come back. I think you're really happy about that because I think Gunnar is way better than him because Gunnar, he can use his legs. He's not the fastest or anything, but he can get you some yards on the ground there with his legs easily. Branch here, the wide receiver, he had 10 catches, 112 yards. Really good game for him. And then C.J. Allen, linebacker, 13 tackles, 7 of them were solo. Special teams here, nothing popping out to me on special teams. Florida here. I really thought that there was a good chance that they win this game, but there's been a couple times where Florida's been in these positions before where, they can win these games and they just choke. They choke. They don't. They can't finish at all. They cannot finish these games at all, and that's a problem. That's a problem. I thought Lagway was playing a good game. He was making plays, but still, I mean, it's still not good enough for Florida, unfortunately. What separates Georgia is that they're one of those teams that they excel at making the critical plays when it matters, and when you dominate that, you're going to win the game. But when you go 2 for 11 on money down like Florida did in this game, you're never going to win a football game. You're never going to win a football game. And you can you can say that's coaching problem or an execution problem, blah blah blah, whatever. At some point, you've got to go out there and make a play, and Florida just they don't have the guys who are doing it. But I think that'll change because they do have a very good roster, I think. So we'll see who they end up hiring. Jaden Ball, the running back, I think he's a really good football player. He's a sophomore right now. Hopefully, Florida can keep him around. I would be shocked if he left. I don't think he's going to leave. I also don't think DJ Lagway is going to leave. So I think Florida, they got a solid chance at keeping some key guys here. The big one for them is going to be Dallas Wilson. They have to keep him. Cannot let him go. Because I'm pretty sure he just redshirted. I'm pretty sure. I think he's had some little bit of injury problems. So yeah, they need to keep him. And then I actually want to see if Eugene Wilson is. I thought Eugene Wilson was like a senior or something. He's only a sophomore. If they keep those guys together, they're gonna have a good team next year. Well, I said that this year they were gonna have a good team, but that didn't work out. But they got the potential to be a good team. We'll say that. That's all we got for the underdogs, right? Yeah, that is. Anything I want to add? Nope. Nope. All right. Heavy hitters. Where do we want to start? We'll start at the top. We'll go Navy in North Texas. You know, we mentioned North Texas, air raid offense. They're going to throw the ball deep. And they are like that. I promise you they're like that. But they did the opposite in this game. They did the opposite. They had 4 rushing touchdowns here. I'm pulling it up. The running back for them, he had an insane game. It was very fun to watch him run the ball. Caleb Hawkins, they gave him the rock. He toted that rock 33 times, 197 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Wow. That is an insane performance. That's crazy. Quarterback, Metzemaker, 19-24, 234. That's an efficient game. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he also didn't turn the ball over. Okay? And if you ask any coach, they will take that 10 times out of 10 there. No turnovers. They're cool with it. They're fine. So really good game from him. Defense, they got 2 turnovers. I think it was 2 picks, right? I think I remember. Yes, 2 interceptions. It was by the same dude, Quentin Hammonds. He had a one-hander, and I forget what the other one was, but the one-hander, that was a really cool play. Navy was undefeated walking into this game, and everybody was hyping up Navy for playoffs and everything, but I'm all respect to, the military teams and all that. That ain't happening in the playoffs. Nah, you're not walking into the playoffs and running the wishbone and running the ball that many times and not throwing it. It ain't gonna work. All right, this is a new age of college football. They threw the ball 14 times, didn't even throw for 100 yards, and they threw 2 picks. Not a playoff team at all, and they're gonna lose a couple more games at the end of the year here. I mean, the quarterback, Horvath, he's fun to watch. He carried the ball 19 times for 112 yards, got a touchdown. But, I mean, I don't know why people thought that they were going to be a playoff team. All respect to them, though. But nah, that ain't going to work. But North Texas here, they got a good shot here of challenging Memphis to be the Group of 5 bid to get in the playoffs there. Yeah, I mean, Navy had 8 penalties for 55 yards and 3 turnovers. You won the time of possession, though. Shocker. No surprise there, huh? Anything I want to add to this? I'm going to go ahead and say no. So we'll get our game of the week out of the way here. Embarrassing for us, because we we did a really good job at hyping up UC in our preview, and oh my gosh, hopefully you didn't watch the game. Hopefully you didn't stay off because it was ugly. Utah 45, UC 14. Utah jumped them, quite literally jumped them. It was ugly, horrible game for UC. Sorsby, Heisman talks over, unfortunately. He went 11 to 33, 221, touchdown and a pick. This box score is just disgusting. It is horrifying to look at on the UC side. And then you go over to the Utah side, and holy cow. They ran the ball 267 yards. Wayshawn Parker there, 17 carries, 104 yards. Devin Dampier threw the ball 16 to 31, 213, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Dampier also ran the ball 14 times for 78 yards. We're gonna put UC on the back burner here. We're not shutting the door on them. The door's still open because you got BYU coming into town later in the year. So they got a chance of getting back. And Utah's put themselves back into the conversation there for the Big 12. They definitely don't. They don't control their destiny. But they got a good shot still. They got a good shot. You see 8 penalties, 60 yards. Can't have it. Can't have it at all when you're away. It's just not good enough at all. Moving forward for UC, who do they got? I think they got a bye week, right? Yeah, that's a bye week. UC's got a bye week, and then they got Arizona at home. Then they got Baylor after. Not Baylor. Goodness, they got BYU. So yeah, ugly game for them. They're not out of it. Like I said, they can get back in it. But we'll see what happens with it. Let's go to. You can't go wrong picking either of these games. So we'll do Vandy in Texas here. Okay. Let me pull it up. There we go. Texas 34, Vandy 31. Sorry. So everything we said about Pavia throwing the ball, we were wrong. Actually, I don't know. I'm sticking with it because the Texas defense, the back end of it, they're exposed very bad right now. But Pavia here, 27 of 38, 365 and 3 touchdowns. I will say the offensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, he does an unreal job scheming the passing game up in favor of Pavia. It's a lot of rollout, get him out of the pocket, flood concepts, get him on the move. And that's what Pavia needs. That's what he needs. And he's very successful at it. Very successful. Eli Stowers, the tight end for them, 7 catches, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. He should be an insane NFL player when he gets there. Let's see here. Anything else for Vanderbilt? Texas had the lead early, and it looked like it was going to be, pretty dominant win for Texas. But Vanderbilt, they came back at the end of the game, and I think that speaks to how good of a team Vanderbilt is. It's a great win for Texas. Don't get me wrong, great win, and it launches Texas back into the conversation here. But still, you can't let. You got to be able to slam the door shut. You got to be able to finish those teams off. They won, so it's a very good win. Like I said, good win. But I still think you should be concerned with Texas 100% here. 100%. This was their best offensive performance. Arch went 25 to 33, 328, and 3 touchdowns. Didn't really run the ball that well. Wisner, he had 18 carries for 75 yards and a touchdown. They only had 100 yards rushing, so not that well. But situation football there. You're throwing the ball there at the end of the game because you've got to get points. You got to get points there, and the run wasn't working, obviously. So good win for Texas here. I think this might have really came down to that Pavia fumble that Texas forced, and because the turnover battle was 1-0 in favor of Texas here. Penalties were pretty even here. Texas 9 for 70, and then Vanderbilt 8 for 70. So exactly even. Correction on my end. Time of possession is pretty even there. I feel like something else happened in this game, and I cannot remember it. Special teams? Was this? No, this was not the special teams game. This was not. Okay. Who's Texas have next? Who do they have? Come on, load. They got a bye week. They got a bye week, and then they go to Georgia. Okay. That's right. We'll save all that for later. I think Vandy's on a bye too. Okay. Alrighty. This was our special teams game. Oklahoma and Tennessee. Man, we got this wrong too. This was a very good win for Oklahoma. Very good. But kind of like the same thing I said, about Texas. I think you should still be concerned with Oklahoma because it wasn't flashy at all. But you still ran the ball well. You had 192 rushing yards altogether. Xavier Robinson, 16 carries, 115 yards, and then Mateer, 16 carries and 80 yards. Maybe that's just how it's going to be for them. I think they're just, for them to win these games, they're going to have to run Mateer. I don't think it's the smartest thing, but you got to do what you got to do to win the game at this point in the year. And if you look at the box score of this game, this final score does not make sense at all. And I'll tell you why. Total yards, Tennessee, 456 to Oklahoma's 351. Passing yards, 393 to Oklahoma's 159. Rushing yards, Oklahoma, of course, dominated in that, but that's because Tennessee, they were playing from behind. You can't run the ball when you're playing from behind. But money down here, Tennessee 7 of 13, Oklahoma 4 of 10. Penalties. Tennessee only had 3 penalties for 25 yards. Oklahoma had 11 penalties for 104 yards, and they won the football game. And you're like, wow, what happened? Well, here's what happened. Tennessee turned the ball over 3 times. And I'm pretty sure they all happened in the first half. One of them was a score, right? It was a fumble recovery for a touchdown, yeah. I'm right. But what really won this game for Oklahoma here, special teams here. Tate Sandell, I know he went viral for his uniform with his shorts, but make no mistake about it, he went 4-4-4 for field goals, counted for 15 points, 3 for 3 on extra points. And let's talk about the field goals here. Go to the play-by-play, scoring plays. Second quarter to tie it up, 10-10, hit from 55 yards. Second quarter to go up, 13-10, hit from 51 yards. Second quarter again to go up 16-10, 40, hit from 40. Fourth quarter to put it to 26-17, he hit another 55-yarder. And they're at Tennessee. They're doing this at night. He went perfect. That's an insane performance from him. Absolutely insane. That's definitely what won them the game. I think that's fair to say. That guy was lights out. Very good job on his end. This was an elimination game here. So Tennessee's done. They're out of the playoffs. But they've still had a good year, I think. And all things considered, I mean, you lose what was supposed to be the prodigy and Nico right before the season starts. And I still think you've looked solid. I mean, who do you have left? They got Vanderbilt at home to end the year. They got to play Florida too, but that's at Florida. That should be a win, though. Tennessee should win that game. They might not though. They might not. Anything else to add on the recap of these games? I don't think so. Let's go over our locks. Locks only here. Yeah, UC plus 10 wasn't even close. Let's just forget about it. Hopefully you didn't bet it. We got Purdue plus 21.5 right at Michigan. And then Nebraska plus 6 against USC. That also hit. And then Michigan State plus 3 at Minnesota. That was a push. So we're not going to count that as a win or a loss or a tie. We're just going to forget about it. Doesn't even count. Also doesn't matter because it's not in the war room. The war room is on fire right now. We're 4-0, right? 4-0. Mississippi State plus 4.5 versus Arkansas. And then Arizona State plus 7.5 at Iowa State. Let's do a little update on the coaching carousel. Hugh Freeze at Auburn, he was fired. Finally happened. Should have happened last year, in my opinion. So Auburn as a job, are they a top 5 job? It's hard to say, to be honest. My thing looking at top 5 jobs right now is that the SEC has so many opening jobs, and I kind of have a feeling that if you're a coach and you're looking at the SEC right now, I don't know if you really want to compete in the SEC right now because it's going to be a short lifespan and you're going to have a short leash. Auburn has money. That's not an issue. They've missed really bad on the past 2 coaches. But college football is better when Auburn's good. Can't believe I'm saying that, but I'm saying it. But make no mistake, I love watching Auburn lose as a Bama fan. But college football is better when they're good. So yeah, I would put Auburn. I'd put them at 5 over Arkansas. Yeah. That I think that's fair to say. I'm not putting them over Virginia Tech. I'm holding Virginia Tech there. I'm holding them there. They're not getting out of my top 5. Okay. So yeah, it's still LSU, Florida, Penn State, Virginia Tech, and now it'll be Auburn, and then we'll have Arkansas at 6, whatever. A couple names that were brought up. This is what's funny is that it was you got Summerall from Tulane, which is fine, but you also had Jimbo Fisher, and I think that'd be hilarious if they hired Jimbo, and it would be horrible too. But I don't think they're going to do that at all. You got Jeff Brom somewhere in there. Jeff Brom would be scary at Auburn. I think I wouldn't like that. Hopefully he stays at Louisville. I think he should. Let's look at the AP poll real quick here. And if you're wondering why we're looking at the AP poll when the playoff rankings come out Tuesday, it's because they're going to base it off the AP poll because they're all dumb. They're all dumb and they don't watch football. They don't know ball at all. Washington's up to 24. Good to see them in there. It's much deserving. Texas went up to 13. Okay. I think we all know it's Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Auburn, Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Notre Dame. That's top 10 right now. Now, what would I change? I mean, it's week 11 now, and the guys that are undefeated, they're undefeated for a reason. So I would bump BYU up all the way to 4 over all of these one-loss teams. But I wouldn't fight you on arguing it either. I wouldn't. But the great thing about it is we're going to figure out about BYU because they play Texas Tech this week 11. So we'll figure it out about them. But yeah, I would bump them up. Notre Dame at 10. How does Notre Dame get away with it? How do they get away with it, man? But I mean, yeah, it's fair. It's fair. You got Oklahoma at 11, Virginia at 12, Texas at 13, Louisville at 14, Vandy dropped to 15. You got Georgia Tech dropped all the way to 16. You got Utah at 17, Miami's down to 18. You got Missouri 19, USC 20, Michigan 21, Memphis 22, Tennessee 23, Washington, and then UC at 25. I was still not ranked. James Madison, they're not ranked. Pitt's not ranked. You know, I wouldn't argue with you if you bounce Tennessee out of there. You know, they are 6-3. They've lost 3 games, all been ranked opponents, but you're 6-3, and I was 7-2 now. Pretty sure. I think Iowa should be in there. I think Tennessee should be unranked. I really do. Because it's like Tennessee's doesn't even have a good win, too. They don't. I mean, their best one's Arkansas with an interim head coach in Petrino. So, yeah, Tennessee should be out of there for sure. They should not be in there. So that's the AP poll there. I wouldn't be shocked if this looks very similar or identical to what college football playoffs are going to look like. But we'll see what happens with it. It's going to get absolutely insane, though. I'll tell you that. Let's pull up the ACC. You got Virginia sitting there undefeated in the conference, so the only one left. They still have to play Wake Forest, Duke, and Virginia Tech. There's some losable games there, 100%. Georgia Tech's going to lose another game to Georgia, and they could lose. Pitt could come in there and beat Georgia Tech. It could happen because Pitt's 5-1 right now, 7-2 overall. Louisville, they still got to play Cal, Clemson, SMU, and then you got Kentucky to finish the year off. My mouse is not working. There we go. I mean, Duke's 4-1 in the conference. Miami still got Syracuse, NC State. They got NC State. That's at NC State too. They also got Virginia Tech, and then they're at Pitt at the end of the year. That's complete chaos in the ACC. Complete chaos. That gives you a headache looking at it. But a lot of these conferences are like it. I mean, you got Georgia here. They still got to play Mississippi State. They got Texas at home, and then they got Georgia Tech. Let's see, Texas A&M. They still have to play South Carolina, Missouri, and they have Texas at the end of the year there. Ole Miss, they should be cruising. Bama just has LSU, Oklahoma, and then Auburn. Oklahoma's got Missouri, Bama, and LSU still. So here's the thing about the SEC. So you've got Texas, who they've beaten Oklahoma now, and they've beaten Vanderbilt, and they still got Georgia left. If Texas wins out, they're automatically in. They're automatically in because they would have beaten Texas A&M too. Wow, it's gonna get dicey real soon. Real soon. This is gonna get messy for sure. Big 12 here. BYU still has to play. They got Texas Tech this week. TCU, Cincinnati, UCF. Texas Tech still has BYU, UCF, and West Virginia. And then Cincinnati's got Arizona, BYU, TCU. Houston's out of it. Doesn't even matter. And then Utah's got Baylor, Kansas State, and Kansas. So you got 3 teams there in the Big 12 who are still in the hunt for Big 12 championship and a playoff berth there. BYU. No, you got 4. You got 4. You got BYU, Texas Tech, Utah, and Cincinnati. I think max only 2 get in from the Big 12, maybe even 1. Big Ten's irrelevant. We already know what's going to happen there. Ohio State's going to steamroll the rest of that conference. Rest of it. It's going to get ugly. We'll do our 12 here. We'll do our 12 prediction. Let me pull it up. So we're gonna do Ohio State at 1, obviously. 2, we're gonna do Indiana. 3, Texas A&M. 4, I'm gonna put BYU, and then at 5, I'm gonna put who's the best one loss team out of this group. I mean, you got Ole Miss, Oregon, Georgia, Bama. Who's the best one loss? We'll do Bama at 5 there. 6, we're gonna do Georgia. 7, we're gonna do Ole Miss. 8, we're gonna do Texas Tech. 9, we're gonna do Oregon. 10, Notre Dame. 11, Virginia. And then 12, Louisville. So we're bumping Oklahoma out. That's what we're doing. We caught ourselves this time. We forgot the group of 5 bid for the playoffs there. So Louisville's out. Louisville's out at the 12 spot there. And we're plugging in Memphis. We'll see what happens tomorrow night when they come out with the rankings. We might be close to what they got. We might be completely wrong. You never know. But that's going to be the show. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please. It doesn't cost anything. It's completely free. We're also on Spotify, so go follow over there. Like, share, give me some feedback, comment what you think, whether you like it, you hate it, let me know. All right, you're entitled to your opinion. Week 11 preview, thinking it's going to be out Friday. At the latest, it'll be out Friday for sure. So enjoy the rest of your guys' week here. Be smart, be safe, and we'll see you Friday.